I'm going to make this step one because it's important. Part of the installation process is going to be loosening up the steering rack and disconnecting it from the steering column. And with the Corvettes, you have a steering wheel position sensor that's kind of a pain to replace. And my understanding is from reading, if you spin the steering wheel more than one full turn while you have it disconnected, you can damage and break that sensor. It's like I think it's an $80 part, but the bigger problem is it's a pain in the butt to install. So to make sure the steering wheel doesn't turn, you'll see here I basically just put it in here across the vehicle and use zip ties to make sure there's absolutely no way the steering wheel can turn while I have it apart. Step two, I'm going to disconnect the negative battery cable. To me, it's always a good thing to disconnect the electrical so you don't short something out. Then I'm going to remove the cover here that goes around the battery compartment area to get more room. And there's just a connector underneath this push-in here, and there's one right over here. So we'll take both of those out and get this whole cover off. Battery cable's disconnected. Shroud around the battery is removed. Next thing we're going to do is remove the entire air intake system. There's a clamp there, a couple of clamps there, and a wiring harness. We'll take all those off, and the air injection hose over there, and that'll free up a lot of room and get the whole air intake out of the way. Air cleaner assembly and mass airflow sensor are out of the way. You can see that frees up a ton of room. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and remove the cover that holds the radiator down. It's a large plastic piece. There's 2 screws on each side, so we'll get that taken off. And this just pops right off. And you got the top of your radiator exposed. By the way, as you probably already know, the radiators need to be cleaned out any opportunity you can. So we'll be blowing this out with compressed air soon, because I'm guessing this thing's at least 20% clogged. Okay, next we're going to take off the air injection system here on the driver's side. This thing it doesn't look that big, but we're going to have to change the spark plugs out a little later. It just makes sense to get this thing out of the way. Okay, air injection tubing on the driver's side is off. And as you can see now, that certainly is going to free up all kinds of room to get these spark plugs out. Next, we're going to remove the accessory drive belt. We'll do that by essentially just compressing the pulley this way and removing the belt. This loosens it up. And then this bolt and this bolt have to come off to take this tensioner off. This is where the supercharger is going to go. The tensioner pulley's out of the way, and that has freed up a lot of room right there for the supercharger. Next up for removal is the sway bar, which is right here. Here's the main clamps on the passenger side and the main clamps on the driver's side. A&A says you just need to drop it down, which I believe them, but if I just remove this on each side, I can get it entirely out of the way, which is what I'm going to do, because you can see the harmonic balancer back there. I'm going to be spending a fair amount of time in this area, and I just don't want the sway bar in my way. So let's get rid of the sway bar. The sway bar literally took about 5 minutes to remove. One good thing about having this out is you can take and inspect your end links here, make sure there's no play. I'll clean these up and make sure these are all pretty tight. If they're loose, this is an excellent time to replace them. Next thing we're going to take off from underneath here is the shroud with the fans. And there's a bunch of these little clips that you got to remove the wiring harness from the clips. It just takes a little screwdriver. It's very easy. Just take a look and you just pry this open and they pop open. They're all the same. And then there's 2 connectors for the fan motors. And you just pry this little clip back. These are getting a little old though, 2003, so they're 15 years old. You don't want to pry too hard because you can break these off. But just pry them just enough, just a little bit, and then pop this out from the whole piece of cake. Then you got to gently, the shroud slides down here on this, inside this little plastic groove. You just got to gently pry up on each side. There's one over here on the passenger side as well. And you can see, there we go. And then I'll just do the other side, and then I'm going to drop the fan down from underneath the vehicle. So here's the fan assembly removed. It really comes out quite simple if you just get some good light disconnect all of the wiring harness connectors. There's like 5 of them, and then 2 wires from the motors themselves. Next, we're going to be removing the ABS module bracket, and I believe we just have 3 bolts. These 2, I think they're 13s here, and up here it's a little bigger, maybe a 17. And then there's just a nut that we have to loosen here, and one on the opposite side of the unit. I'll have to get it from the top, and I think then this bracket just drops out from the bottom. And we have to take that bracket off to be able to get the steering rack out so that we can remove and replace the harmonic balancer. Yep, turns out exactly right. There's a nut on this side of the ABS unit, and then on exactly the other side that you have to reach from the top. You just loosen it just like this one here. Before you do that though, you can see I have some zip ties across a few of the lines that go to the ABS module, and I've just stuck a small metal bar. In this case, I propped it across the radiator and the top of the engine to support this unit as I pull away the ABS mount. So it's kind of hanging there, and you need that room to be able to pull the rack out and work on the harmonic balancer. So that is just hanging around for now. There are a couple of hoses, hard lines actually, that go to the steering rack. You can see them kind of down there underneath that pulley. I'm not sure how I'm going to get at those. I got pretty big hands. So I think I'm going to remove the alternator, and that might allow me to get my chubby little fingers down there and take the rack out. So let's remove this alternator with 1 bolt up here. Looks like 1 wire. Connector back here, and there's probably 1 more hiding. We'll find it. I think that's going to pay dividends, and honestly, it seriously took like about 1 minute and 45 seconds to remove the alternator. So you can see down here, maybe, it's given me a better view, and I'm able to get my fingers down in there to get some wrenches on the 2 hard lines that need to come out of the steering rack. But one thing first, you can see how dirty that is down there, and I'm gonna spend a fair amount of time cleaning that, because when I take those hard lines out of the steering rack, the last thing I want is grit and grime falling in there, and it can take out your steering rack. So spend the 10 minutes doing a good job cleaning that before you take those hard lines out. Okay, the top hard line that goes in the rack down there, I was able to break it loose with an 18mm just regular end wrench. The one underneath it you can barely see. I'm going to try to get that one from the wheel well. The bolt that attaches the steering column shaft to the rack and pinion, that's got to come all the way out. I'm just using a long extension. I've got a good shot of it from here. And of course, remember to have that steering wheel secured so it cannot spin, as I discussed earlier. Okay, back underneath here, and the other hard line going to the steering rack, I was able to break loose here, luckily with an 18mm end wrench. I should have a line wrench, but the biggest, I don't have one that's 18, so I'll have to add that to my toolbox. But those are both broken loose, so I'm going to use an air hose and clean them off a little bit more, and then remove both lines. This side knuckle came off easy too, just unbolting it, and it just dropped down. So not like the steel ones of yesterday where you have to beat the crap out of the knuckle to get it to separate, or buy an expensive tool and risk wrecking the boot. So far, so good. Removing the tie rod ends from the knuckles, I was kind of concerned because the cast iron knuckles you can beat on with a hammer and the tie rod will pop out. But so far, this one, all I've had to do is loosen it, and it's just dropping right down, which is going to make this side a little easier than I thought it might be. Okay, the steering rack is out, and what you've heard about it is true. It's a pain in the ass totally to take out. Ultimately, I did have to go ahead and lower the cradle from the frame by about, I don't know, 1/4 inch at the most. And I slid it out the driver's side right through this area right here, and was able to slide it out that way. Don't have to lower the cradle by much, again, just about 1/4 of an inch, but take your time, check for wires, make sure those hoses, the hard lines are held up. You're not going to damage those on the way out, because then you'll have a big problem on your hands trying to fix the damage. We're underneath the car now looking up at the radiator, and there's the big plastic shroud that goes all the way around and forces air into the radiator. We're going to take that off next. And there are a total of 5 screws along the leading edge here. And then we also have to go back here and catch the guy over here in this corner. And there's another one right up there. And that'll drop that whole plastic shroud out of the way. Okay, for the shroud that we just unbolted, it actually comes out from the top. There's a couple more clips, one there and one down here. You can see there, I think I might have broke them off to check here, but they pry out, and then you can slide this thing out the top, and that's your whole plastic air dam that forces air up in the radiator, at least on the stock assembly. Okay, with a little bending and gently pulling, you want to make sure you don't, when you're pulling up, you're not damaging the fins on the, and actually that's the AC on the front, and the radiator is the second thing, but you don't want to damage those fins as you're pulling the plastic piece out. And here is the plastic piece, the factory shrouding that forces air up into the condenser and into the radiator. So that wasn't that hard to get out either. Hey guys, that does it for part 2 of the C5 Corvette A&A Vortech Supercharger installation. If you liked the video, remember to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Part 3 will be uploaded shortly, so stay tuned.